My name is Edgar Melkor.
My name is David Lee Pulga.
My name is Joseph Anaya.
My occupation, I produce television.
My occupation is a videographer and a photographer.
My occupation is a videographer and editor, and I currently work at my school as well.
I went to college at the Art Institute of Las Vegas, over right here in Henderson. I don't even know why it's called the Art Institute of Las Vegas. It fits in Henderson. It should be called the Art Institute of Henderson, but it's not.
I attend college at the Art Institute of Las Vegas in Henderson, Nevada.
I attend college at the Art Institute Las Vegas.
What brought me there was I took a film class in high school and I was really intrigued by it. I was like, oh, I want to make this a career choice. So I decided to look up some schools and I found the Art Institute of Las Vegas. Do I have any memorable instructors?
John Fusel.
John Fusel.
John Fusel?
He's a character. He and I have become really good friends even after I've graduated. So we're still working together in some aspect.
He is the advisor or director of my program. He would be teaching things like directing and be teaching things like media theory. He's a very nice dude. Feel like we've gotten really close with him. I've gotten really close with the guy, and he is really good at what he does as well. But he isn't as hard on critique as Cochran was, but he can be fairly difficult on you as well.
Edgar said something about him being very friendly with us. That's a thing John is known for, at least I feel with me, Edgar, David especially. David and John have seen the carry on the friendship past school. They still keep in touch, so that's cool. And yeah, John seems like not only an instructor but a friend as well. Another big one for me is a teacher named Matt Christensen. He's mainly specialized in script writing, and I love script writing. And so he would just like spend hours with you even after class and just helping you work on your script or anything. And he is always there for you. And he was really good. I learned a lot from him too.
There are a few memorable instructors. One of them I enjoy listening to because he talks like this, and every time he you could be talking to a friend, and you could be in the hallway talking to a friend about anything, like a rock band, and out of nowhere he'll pop up right next to you and join in the conversation and be like, I was in a rock band. It was rubber, or something like that. He would say something random like that. But otherwise, he's a great instructor. You learn something from him in his history classes.
I have one instructor that I really remember the most is Robert Cochran. He was responsible for teaching advertising production and storyboard and scene analysis. He was really would really critique your work a lot, but he would do it in a good way, where it's like it would help you improve a lot of your pieces. Where he would be honest with you, he would be blunt about it, and he was a really nice guy, and he was really good at what he did.
Some of my idols, probably Kevin Smith, and whenever one of like higher end filmographers or whatever are like, "You into Kevin Smith? What's wrong with you, you stupid little baby?" And it's like, what? And it's just like Kevin Smith, just the way he presents himself, even though if his movies are like not entirely top quality or what people really look after, I just love his personality and how he presents himself and how he attributes like how he views his life into his audience, and is like, dude, just relax. And like kind of gives you hope that even though he's not that great, you see where he's at. Maybe we could be that way some way. Or we can just at least make movies without like caring too much.
Idols or mentors? There's one I like J.J. Abrams' work, but there's one editor that I really like. I don't think J.J. is an editor, but I'm going to edit. One editor that really catches my attention. Her name is Kaja Fair. I noticed her editing style while watching Pretty Little Liars. Yeah, I watched the show. But it's a great show, and what stood out about the editing was that what were the transitions. you have to see it in order to understand what I'm talking about. But she's a great editor. I've befriended her on Facebook. We've communicated, so I'm fortunate to be in communication with her. We're friends on Facebook. That's pretty awesome, I think. Pretty Little Liars. Love that show.
David Lee.
The basketball player?
Yes.
I think that they would say that I might be blunt, a little blunt. I might be a little honest.
Being friends with David is awesome because I feel like he says a lot very brutally honest. He's very brutally honest with the world.
Tends to be a little different from me and Joseph. He could really speak his mind a lot more than I can. So he's a really cool guy though, but he's very blunt about a lot of things, which I like though, but I don't mind it at all. Working with David is great. He's knowledgeable as much as David. He's really good at what he does, as in directing. He's good at producing. He can get really stressed out about it, and we try to help him. He is the biggest reason why I got a lot of work in the industry. So I have a lot to thank him for that kind of stuff. Working with him can be very, for some reason for me, it could be very relaxing. Even though he tends to make a lot of jokes throughout the entire process, but I don't mind that. It just makes me laugh and makes me have an even better time. There's never a dull moment with David.
I love that when people are like that. And yeah, he's a great friend. He's been there for me numerous times, and you know, he's helped me get further into this industry than anybody else ever has. And I've learned absolutely, I feel like, more from him than school in some aspects. And he's a great friend, and I just love working with him.
Like I said, as just like working with Joseph, you never know what to expect. He's got his highs, he's got his lows, and you never know where to meet him. Like because sometimes we could be polar opposites. Like I'm really low and he's really high, or vice versa. You know, I could be high energy and he could be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He makes these sounds. He makes these extra sounds after words. It's like a song. Like adding like a little, you know, a little drum, like ding 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 ding. You know, it's like that. Like he adds like a bass to his words. I don't know what it is. It's always entertaining and interesting working with him, and you know, and being friends with him at the same time.
Working with Joseph is very fun. He comes to me with a lot of different ideas, but when he comes to me, sometimes I can't tell if he's being serious with some of his ideas. Like as in like, all right, let's do this, but like, all right, do you really want to do it, or is this like just something that you have an idea for? But working with him has been great. He really knows what he's doing when it comes to his writing and his directing and his editing. I feel like he is a very knowledgeable individual in what he does.
Being friends with Edgar? Love being friends with Edgar. That's all. No, Edgar's someone, you know, you can talk to. He's gonna listen. He's gonna be there for you. Edgar's someone that's just ready to listen, ready to talk. He'll even take a flicking of the knuckle like this. I feel like I have to explain myself when I say things. He can take that. And I introduce him to the Bruce Lee 4-inch punch. He loves that.
Being friends with him is awesome. He's a really, really good guy. Just seeing how he interacts with you and is like, you know that he cares for you and he's a great friend. He's always there, and it's cool to just be with him and just joke about shit. I can say whatever and he rolls with it. He doesn't even really he just expects it now, and it's like, cool. And so yeah, he's a great person to be with and very fun. And he's amazingly, probably the best photographer I know. He's really good at capturing really amazing moments in life. And I look up to him. He's a really awesome dude.
Working with Edgar, always a good time, you know. He's my little buddy, like, and I'm little. And to have a buddy that's littler than me, it's like, cool, we can be little people together, even though we're not in that genre of humans. Is that a thing? It's a genre of humans. What stands out about Edgar is that more than anything that I can do, he does lighting really well. He can light really well, and he knows his way around a camera. He can shoot a camera. He's great at framing, but what impresses me the most is his lighting ability, and that's something I know I can count on.
How I met David. I met David through actually a typography class that we took together. I was in that class with him, but at the time when the class first started, I didn't know him until I remember we had to make a poster specifically for something, and he had himself in the poster. And when he presented it to class, I thought it was really funny and very creative the way he did it. I know the instructor loved it, the class loved it, and they thought it was really cool. I remember at one point we went on break and I was talking to him about a math class. I don't know if he remembers this, but we were talking about a math class. I was telling him about math and stuff, and then we just talked for a bit there. I never really knew exactly what his major was at the time. I thought he was in graphic design because of how well he actually executed the poster. But we talked about it for a bit, and eventually we had a class together. We did a few projects together with me, him, and Joseph, and then one thing led to another, and we just became really good friends.
I met David at my school. He was in my lighting class, fundamentals of lighting, and that's when I first experienced him and how he is. He just burst off this energy fireball in class, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's hot!" And it's like, yeah, because he's a fireball. And then everyone clapped and went home. And then he's just a cool guy to do. Well, first time I really noticed David was we were doing a lighting assignment in class, and we're in this big group, and people were going off to get something with the shoot, but like we had downtime and we're all talking, and David started doing his infamous dragon joke. So yeah, that's how I met David, and then yeah, from there on I think we started talking more and more, and I feel like he was I think I more and more got to know him because he was also hanging out with Edgar, and we just started becoming like close. I feel like I could share, like I saw him like welcoming him in and helping him shoot with like minor projects here and there, like Robin Manhood, and we got closer just like hanging out with him and going to his apartment like in the morning. I remember we did that, and then he would show us like a video of like his first stand-up performance, because like he's a comedian, and like I think we saw him once or twice, and then he was like, "Here, you want to watch my first thing?" And he was like, I can't remember if he was really embarrassed and walked out of the room, or was just like, what? And yeah, but and then he convinced me to do my first show. It went as bad as you can expect.
I met Edgar at the Art Institute of Las Vegas, and I met Joseph at the Art Institute of Las Vegas.
I met Joseph through a class. He came up to me asking me that he wanted to do a short with other set of friends where somebody had a bad art school experience. He came to me asking me if I could help him with it, and I told him I would, and then eventually when the day came I couldn't anymore because something came up. But after that, towards then, we had a class together and we started shooting things together, all these awkward and odd things that we shot. It was a lot of juvenile things, but eventually we actually started getting a little more serious on our work, and we met just through other friends as well.
When I first started going to the Art Institute, my first quarter, of course, I was like really shy, and I didn't know anyone, so I was just like, "Rrr." and that's how I am in many environments. And I met this guy named Andres, and we kind of like hit it off. We were like chilling and stuff. And he also lives near where I live. And a lot of people, not a lot, but a good amount of people who go to art institutes don't live. I used to live far up north, and then it was like down, and then many people weren't far north, or whatever. That was the thing we connected on. And so we kind of like were chilling, and then Edgar was part of his friend group, and then that's how me and Edgar met, and we kind of like talked off and on. And then Andres left the school, and then from there on we were like basically BFFs, and we still are.
I think we started working together. I actually don't even remember our first project together. I think one of them was Robin Manhood. I think Robin Manhood was the first project I asked him to work on, because I've seen how they work together in other classes, like Robert Cochran's class, where they had this little bromance going. And Robin Manhood is kind of the same duo. So I was like, hey, I've already got this group of dudes. It's got this weird bromance going. Let's put them in this film and have fun with it. And they did really well with it too. They did amazing. And since then, I guess we just kept hanging out, doing stuff.
Living in a Friend's Car is literally just a little web series that me and Joseph have about literally Joseph, living in my car. He doesn't have any other place to stay besides my car, so I let him stay in there as long as he pays rent. But we go off just like going through a bunch of things together, like how he doesn't pay rent, or how he always keeps my car a mess, or how he breaks things in my car, and things like that. We always have those little sad moments in the pieces where I get mad at him for something dumb he does. So I feel bad, and I go back to him about it, and it's like, it's cool, you can keep living in my car, kind of thing. I don't exactly remember how we started that series. I remember I think it was for a class specifically, where we had to shoot something, and Joseph came to me about, hey, how about if we do something about me living in your car? And at the time I had a different car. It was this blue car I had. He brought a bunch of his stuff, and it made it look like he was living in it. We shot another one after that for another class, where it seemed like it was a different car as well, and he looked like he broke a door. And then eventually we rebooted the series where he lived in the car I have now, but it seems a little more serious compared to the last two pieces that we did. I just remember it was specifically for a class that we did it for.
I've worked with Joseph and Edgar for about maybe a little over 3 years now. We've done a lot of projects together. I started noticing their work getting better in one of our classes with Robert Cochran. It was a commercial production class. Yeah. We were producing commercials, and I started to see that their quality of work was starting to improve, and that kind of pushed me to want to do even better. So, it's like when we see each other's work, it's like, oh man, that was good. Now I gotta be better. So it's friendly competition, which is good.
My first thought of Joseph was literally, I thought he was just somebody who was really quiet, who just wanted to get through school, or he just didn't want to make many friends. He just wanted to have somebody close he can talk to, and things like that. But as time went by, I've noticed that he's the opposite of that. At times where he would be quiet, but he's also very loud as well. He can tend to be a little obnoxious about things, but in a good way, if that's possible to put. I just thought he was quiet, and I thought he just seemed like a really chill dude who would just try to get through school. My first impression on David was, as well, I thought he was just somebody who was trying to get through school. I didn't know he was a comedian at the time until he told me, or until I found out about this poster he designed. I just thought he was a very funny guy. I thought he was a very, as well, kind of I thought he would be a very obnoxious dude, but I found out he kind of was, but in a good way, if that's possible to put. I don't know. But for both of them, I thought Joseph was quiet and chill, and I thought David was funny and he was chill too. So ultimately, they're pretty neat dudes.
My first thoughts about Joseph, I thought that I thought Joseph was weird. I wasn't wrong. It's a good weird. It's a good weird. Okay, I think this is the part where they would say I'm brutally honest. Yeah, I thought Joseph was a little weird, a little a little quiet, out of sorts, but and very low key, like a gentle little hamster. Like you like him, but you're not sure what to do with him, because you could squeeze them. You're not sure, but they're fun. They're fun, I guess. Hamsters. Edgar's more like a gerbil, but not the.
My first thoughts, Edgar seemed like a really cool dude where many people could go to him, and that's still true. He has the whole school is his friend and they love him to death, and he does an amazing job of being very friendly with everyone, and that's one of the things I really like about him and admire about him. But yeah, first I was like, oh, that guy's pretty cool, and then but I was also I thought you were one of the really popular kids, and then you're like, yo, what's up? I felt like, oh, poop, and I felt like I was gonna get beat up, but no, he didn't beat me.
My first thoughts of Edgar was I thought he was Asian. I thought Edgar was Asian, but apparently he was just wearing glasses. Because he just wear glasses. And he was he's little and with glasses. So I thought he was one of me, one of my people. But he's not. Okay. But he's cool though. He's cool. He's still cool.
My first thought of David was it was just such a unique personality. I was like, what? He's doing... Well, the joke he was telling, there's a secret meaning behind it. Obviously, if you watch it, and then it's like, oh, I love that complexity. That's a dragon within this... You're killing dragon. It's like, oh man, that's awesome. And I thought, man, this guy must be really super unique. And then he is, and we have been brothers ever since.
My role in Reconcile the Mask was co-director and co-director of photography. I don't exactly remember how Joseph came up to me about it, because this is mostly him and his girlfriend's doing of writing the piece. He came up to me and he asked me about this piece to do for our media delivery class. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I'm totally down to do it. I thought it was going to be a little complex at first, but as he explained it more in detail about it, it's like, oh, this can be easily executed. I thought I was just going to be the director of photography, but eventually he gave me the role of co-director, which I took over about half or so, not as much half of the film. We also got some help from our friend David, and we got a little advice from our favorite instructor of ours, John Fusel.
Reconcile was a project that I was invited to do. I was fortunate to have been a part of it. They asked me to do a shoot of them walking through a field, and I had no idea what to expect. I like a typical shoot with Joseph. You don't know what you're walking into. But once you get in there and you start to get a feel for what he wants and what you're looking for, then it starts to really move, and you're like, oh man, that's amazing. Oh, that's an amazing shot. I gotta have that shot. It's I don't know, it's just a different dynamic working with these guys, especially that project, because that project, Reconcile, you got to see Joseph times 1,000 in his personality, and that's something and when I saw that, I was like, oh wow, okay, he's not crazy. He's a little crazy, but not crazy. It's like a crazy I can handle, I think.
Reconcile the Mass was originally a class project, and we were talking about, all right, let's all get in a group, because I had an idea working towards this final project. I was like, all right, I want to do this specific story. And so basically at that point, I feel like everyone was kind of worn out. And I was like, all right, I want to take lead and blah, blah, blah. And then we did. And with David, he helped with doing director of photography for a couple of days. Yeah, we actually first started shooting Reconcile when we didn't have the full idea of it with David. And yeah, and he's helped out formulate the story a bit too, I feel.
Mentality, I personally feel, was mostly on Joseph's. This is Joseph's mostly piece, but I helped him supervise in the lighting. I also was, I guess you could say, I helped a little bit in the cinematography about, I can't. Cinematography. The camera worked for it. But I mostly did a lot of the lighting in this piece. I didn't do much, was in the writing or directing or the editing. That was all Joseph. I just helped him light a lot of the pieces. We had a green screen piece in it. I helped him light that. We shot in our friend Ashley's place. I lit that, and anything else. We also shot in our friend John's place. I lit that as well. So anything lighting wise, I was supervisor on, and I helped him up a lot on that. So, but I feel like the piece mostly belongs to Joseph mostly than to me.
Mentality is short. We did late last year. It was like kind of like a dark, like weird turn of a short that we've done. Like we do we do our funny stuff, and then we do our serious stuff, and then we went into our kind of like dark stuff, and then yeah, we made that. First time we worked with Gar, who was our lead actress, and she actually became one of our good friends, and she was amazing with it. And yeah, and we're kind of working towards a sequel. Actually got everything good to go, and story-wise, I know it from front to back, but we got to find the proper time and scheduling to get it all good together and give it a go. But yeah.
Mentality was a film that another film Joseph produced about a girl, Daisy, and I played the role of her brother. Forgot what my name was. Jasper. She played Daisy. I played her brother Jasper, and it was fun. It was great. I died. It was a great stabbing scene, and I think my favorite part about being stabbed in the scene was my ability to make that look convincingly real. Like I was really choking on my blood, because I was. Joseph gave me these blood capsules to bite on for a shot that needed me to bleed from my mouth, but I was lying down. You ever drink water lying down? It was the same thing, except blood going down your throat. And then you're like, and then you sound like I was dying. I felt like I was drowning in my own blood on the ground.
Fashionably Funny was this awesomely big kind of comedy event at our school, and it is probably the first time I've ever seen our school do a big event like this, where it's like about like these comedians going up and doing it. It was awesome, and it was of course of David, because David was formulate this, and he's like, hey, I got this idea, and it's like you can never say no to David. You always want to be with him on every project and be like, yeah, I'll follow your lead, man, because it always turns out amazing, and everything he has going for him and his plans for everything are awesome. And so yeah, Fashionably Funny it went out great. I feel like we got a full house there. It was absolutely packed, and then the final project, when it fully came out in the video, was great. Like, it was actually something I was like, this should be on Comedy Central right now, and it's really good. I'm very proud of that piece.
Fashionably Funny. My biggest role in Fashionably Funny was, I believe I was just a camera operator on that. But I had a good time doing that. It was this project mostly personally to me belongs to David. This is David's baby. We did Fashionably Funny back at the school a year ago, 2 years ago, roughly, around in February, I think it was, for our post-production class. He gathered a lot of different students in a lot of different fields to physically get this done. Comedy show where the comics are well dressed by fashion students at the Art Institute of Las Vegas. David came up to me and Joseph about the project. If we can help him do some camera work for him while we could just shoot it for him, basically, while everybody was performing. So I was one of the camera operators, and I think Joseph was also the director of photography. David was up there performing, and I had a great time. It seemed very stressful, but I feel like the end result was outstanding. A lot of people used it for their portfolios, for their classes, and personally, I thought it was a really outstanding project, and I had a great time, and I learned a lot because of that project.
Fashionably Funny, Fashionably Funny, that's my baby. That is my baby. Initially, it started out. It was for my post-production class. Initially, it was going to be in one episode of Made in Vegas. I was going to do an episode of Made in Vegas, and then I realized that, you know what, I've done that before. I already know how to do that. Let's try something else. So I came up with this idea of after leaving a fashion club meeting. They were talking about fundraisers, and I was somehow fundraiser, fashion club, post-production. I'm a comedian. Hey, let's have them dress up the comedians and turn it into a show for people to pay, and the money goes to the fundraising. And then that happened. It was only supposed to be like, how long was it supposed to be? It was only supposed to be like a 10-minute video, 10 to 15-minute video. It ended up becoming this huge production where I involved photography, graphic design, audio, film, of course, interior design was there, culinary was part of it, and of course fashion was a part of it as well. So I got 7 different majors involved in this one project so that I could get an A. It was amazing. Oh, they got paid too, the fashion club, they got paid.
Parakeet Eulogy, I remember that was for our acting and directing class. And we had to do a final project where we actually had to go out and really work with an actor, I feel. And we had to step out of our comfort zone. And that class really, we went from being like all comedy, like not really taking ourselves too seriously, into I feel like we did a full 180 and became like very serious about our stuff. But that was the starting phase where our teacher was really good on making us take it really serious, and so we did that. And Parakeet Eulogy was David's final project, and we worked with his friend Lou McGillowitz, and he's a good comedian friend with David, and I used him too in one of the projects, and yeah, it came out pretty good. And it's surprising since that was the first like serious turn I feel like to see from David as well as us. So it's cool.
Parakeet's Eulogy. My role in that piece was just an actor. I was one of the actors in it with Joseph and our friend Lou. How do you say his last name? Miguelowitz? Miguelowitz. Another comedian, a local comedian here in Vegas, and a good friend of David's. David came to me and Joseph about this because we were supposed to shoot something for our acting and directing class. He came to me and asked me and Joseph to be an actor in it, where it's literally just Lou being a pastor talking about his dead parakeet, and we were just 2 individuals or witnesses just experiencing him and his dead parakeet.
Outfit of the Dreamer is a documentary I did for my friend Krisha Garcia, because prior to that I was doing these little mini videos for her on Instagram, and they're like little 15-second videos, and I needed a documentary for my E&G class at school, and I also needed to submit a film for film festival. So I thought, hey, let's turn these little 15-second videos into a 15-minute documentary on this person to help her launch her styling ability for people to know who she is.
Outfit of the Dreamer, my role in Outfit of the Dreamer was, I believe I was also lighting supervisor for that piece. I lit a lot of his interview pieces. This is a documentary piece David did for his electric news gathering class. Also, I guess you could say it was his last piece at the Art Institute of Las Vegas. I helped him just basically light his interviews and anything related to lighting in that project. I thought it was a really, really great project. It really turned out really amazing. He presented the project in the first annual Film Festival at the Art Institute of Las Vegas. I really enjoyed it. I thought it turned out amazingly. David always does a great job in all his pieces, and I thought this one was one of the other good pieces that David does. Personally, I thought it was a really good piece.
Part of my role of Outfit of the Dreamer was archived footage.
Private gigs, personally, I've done private gigs for David, mostly specifically for David. Me and Joseph have done a lot of private gigs for David, mostly specifically Sean and Josie Virgin's wedding video. David came to us, both me and Joseph, about shooting a wedding video for an old friend of his that went to the Art Institute of Las Vegas. But at the time, though, I've never done a wedding before. I've never shot a wedding, but I was really excited to do it. So my role in the project was just to mount a camera and to be a photographer to take some photos for the couple. We were there from the beginning. We were there about an hour early to set up. It was David was the best man. Joseph and myself were camera operators, and I was a photographer. Joseph was editing. I actually really enjoyed it. It was really good, a very beautiful ceremony. The actual video itself turned out very lovely. I think Joseph was always doing a great job editing any pieces that we give him. The footage came out great. The wedding was just amazing. It was a good first-time experience, and I would like actually do something similar to it in the future as well.
Private gigs we've done in my role in them. We've done, I feel like the most notable one that I liked was I liked all, but like the main one that I was like, oh, that was awesome turnout, was the wedding for Sean and Josie. And yeah, that was our first, I feel like, real gig where we like all worked together on a serious harmony note. And we were, they wanted it specifically like a music video type way, and that was awesome. And so we shot that. Me and Edgar shot all of it, and then I edited it, and they really liked it. And so that's awesome to get like a really cool reaction like that.
I've done a lot of private gigs with Joseph and Edgar. I think one of the ones to come to mind, the Phil and I Comedy Jam. I worked with them on that. That was a great production that they helped me with, as well as Josie and Sean's wedding. That was a great production. I had fun being a part of that, although I didn't really do much as far as the production was concerned. I was their best man because, you know, Sean asked if I could be his best man. I was like, yeah. Or if I could work his wedding. I was like, I don't want to work. I've never been a best man. So I became his best man. No, I'm not his best man. I was groomsman. I was his groomsman.
My ideas of where I want this show to go in the future. I like the show to go as beyond as farthest as it could go. You know, this is a great show. Joseph came to me asking me about it. It's like, if I wanted to be a co-host about it. I'm like, yeah, that sounds really cool. Just talking about independent films with other filmmakers here in Las Vegas or anywhere else. I wanted the show to go further and beyond, where we get other filmmakers from like out of state, maybe from California or from anywhere else, instead of just here in Las Vegas as well. You know, I want to bring in maybe possibly in the future a little more well-known filmmaker possibly, that people know and they've seen their work in. I want to have other things done as well, just to talk to other filmmakers. Maybe we showcase exactly what their process is, or maybe show some a little behind the scenes and what they do when they're shooting a specific film or documentary or such. I'm excited for the show. I really like being the co-host on it. I like the show to go as far as it could possibly go, as far as anybody will let it go. Personally, I love the show. I love my co-host, and I love the way it's produced and every wonders of it.
FML. This show, Filmmakers Lounge, is a show where Joseph and Edgar get to talk with other filmmakers, talk about how their films were made and the process of making it, while also watching the film prior to talking about it. I think it's progressing slowly or not at all, because it's zero progression. You know what I mean? But it is progressing. Zero. The show Filmmakers Lounge is growing, and it's turning into something amazing, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with it in the future.
So far, we're a couple episodes in on Filmmakers Lounge, and I'm starting to really, I feel like I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm like, yeah, let's do it, or yeah. And then, so far I like it. And what Edgar said about like maybe in the future just working towards it with, you know, getting bigger, inviting more and more filmmakers to talk like genuinely about their shorts and like how they view filmmaking, how we view filmmaking. And that would like work on, and people from maybe out of state would come, like different directors, and maybe we'd get like a more higher end director and be like, woo, woo, woo. But yeah, I could see that going far, and I hope it goes far. And yeah, it's definitely become part of my life.